Constitutional lawyer and human rights activist Mike Ozekome has said the rising wave of agitation for restructure is not meant to break Nigeria as a country. In a chat with journalists in Abuja, Ozekome explained that there's a need to restructure the fabric of Nigeria in order to move the country forward.
I do not advocate for confederation, because for confederation we made the states too powerful, so powerful, and the government at the center very weak and ineffective. But I also do not advocate for unitary system of government, which is what we are actually practicing now, where the federal government at the center is more powerful than all the 36 states and 774 local government areas joined together. In terms of national allocation, the federal government takes about 52%, all the states about 30%, and all the local governments about 20%. It should not be like that.
Ozekome said the current system of governance in the country is far from true federalism.
Nigeria needs to sit down at the table, as we did in 2014. I was in the Judiciary and Legal Committee of the 2014 National Conference. In 2009, I was in the Vision 2009. In 2005, I was in the National Political Reform Conference of Obasanjo, where I actually was chairman of the subcommittee on labor, trade union, media, and civil society. All the beautiful recommendations, particularly the over 600 of the 2014 National Conference, have been archived. And this government is saying, no, we will not even look at it. The truth is that what they are looking for in my hometown, Sokoto, is actually inside Sokoto trouser. The solutions they are looking for to solve Nigeria's problem, they are actually embedded in the 2014 National Conference, where all the delegates, 492, from various strata of the Nigerian society, the labor, the trade union, the students, the youth, the academia, the physically challenged, the elder statesmen, elder stateswomen, market men, market women, professionals, civil service, diplomatic corps, military, police officers, and traditional institutions. The conference was all encompassing and comprehensive. And for 6 months, we discussed Nigeria.
On the way forward, Ozekome called on the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to embrace the report of the 2014 National Conference, which recently addressed many challenges facing the country and proffer solutions.
Restructuring means removing this imbalance, devolving powers from a behemoth, elephantine center that has become lazy, inefficient, and ineffective to the federating units that are gasping for breath, for the oxygen of existentialism. Devolution of power means allowing each state government. Restructuring means allowing each state government to develop its resources and use the resources for the development of their place, and then pay tax to the federal government at the center in such a way that the federal government at the center is itself not denied of funds. Restructuring means that a federal government should essentially be in charge of critical matters like foreign affairs, like currency, like central banking. Then you leave matters like railways, education, which the federal government is even dabbling in. Imagine this federal government even dabbles into primary and secondary education. The exclusive legislative list is too big.
Meanwhile, APC-led federal government has distanced itself from the 2014 National Conference report. In Abuja, Muyo Bamdele reporting. The Senate has passed into law a bill that seeks to move the inauguration of Nigerian president and his vice from the popular Eagle Square to National Assembly premises, as it is in advanced democratic countries like United States of America and United Kingdom. The bill was sponsored by Deputy Senate President Ike Ekremadu with aim of aligning the presidential inauguration in Nigeria with advanced democracy. Senator Abdul Aziz Nyako from Adamawa State said if the bill is assented to by the president, it will be a welcome development.
The bill in a nutshell seeks to provide for the inauguration of or swearing in of the President and Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be carried out within the confines of the Parliament as it is done in the United States of America, India and other democracies of the world. This bill is in recognition of the fact that the legislature is the assemblage of the representatives of the entire country, and as such, it will not be out of place for such a bill, it will not be out of place for such an important national event to take place in the National Assembly.
The senators, after several debates, passed the bill through a voice vote.
Distinguished colleagues, before I put the question, let me once more thank the very distinguished senators for your kind consideration of this bill. And I'm also to put it on record that the person who actually prepared this bill was Senator Jubilee Aminu. And the bill was actually passed in that Senate and sent to the President for assent. Unfortunately, it was not assented to before the end of that particular regime. So because of the importance and how to deepen our democracy and to adopt the best practices from other countries, we decided to bring it back for your consideration. Because this is standard practice in most presidential systems, especially in America, where we copied copiously our own presidential system. And those who constructed our National Assembly also made provision for the arcade, possibly for a day such as we are considering now, in the hope that the president will be inaugurated at the premises of the National Assembly. And I think that is a standard because the National Assembly is the symbol of democracy. And here actually is the temple of democracy. So it makes every sense that presidents should take their oath of office within the confines of the highest legislative body in the land under the supervision of the people's representatives. So I think what we are doing is in accord with what happens in other democracies, and I believe that it is important that if there are things that we need to learn from others that make sense, I'm sure that we should be able to learn that. So I would like to thank the rest of us for your kindness in considering this bill. So on this note, I'd like to put the question. A bill for an act to provide for the inauguration of the President and Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, venue, procession, and related matters 2007, taken and passed.
The House of Representatives is expected to ratify the bill before it will be forwarded to the President for his assent. From Abuja, Muyo Bamdele reporting.
National Trade Facilitation Committee in Nigeria has formally presented the Nigerian Trade Facilitation Roadmap and Training Strategy to the federal government as part of efforts to enhance ease of doing business in the country. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, represented by a director in the ministry, Alihu Mohammed, while receiving the document on behalf of the government, said the roadmap, when implemented, will help in rapid transformation of economy, especially now the country exited recession.
Present administration is pursuing an economic diversification agenda as a way of reducing our dependence on oil as the mainstay of Nigeria's economy, and by promoting so that we can have a sustainable economic growth and development. It is a recognition of this that I see very appropriate and timely the development of Nigeria's trade facilitation roadmap, which will help in ensuring rapid transformation of Nigeria's economy for the benefit of Nigeria's people.
Former Attorney General of the Federation, Kayode Adetokunbo, and other speakers at the event commended government for recognizing the importance of trade facilitation and call for urgent implementation.
See, the matter is very cross-cutting. It's a serious matter and it's cross-cutting. That's why I emphasize inside the need for multi-sectoral cooperation, agency cooperation, and the need to really key into the vision of the single window. That is what government wants to do. And we have a duty to make sure it works. The civil service, the system, the people that really implement government policies must make sure it works.
Very laudable program, as you can see. I'm very proud to show it off. It's a one-year intensive course to make Nigeria ready for the roadmap. Today the roadmap is set and ready to roll. You can see the launch is already on. The need for cooperation cannot be overemphasized. The need for interagency knowledge, management, private sector participation, and ensuring that those who are traders, the shipping companies, logistic managers are properly brought, to understand what this roadmap is all about, to ensure that we are competitive. We already have a situation where our ports are not being efficiently used because our trade mechanisms, the system is not really taking into consideration these international best practices.
The document that we have come to present today, or we have come to launch today, is to give us a summary of the things that we need to do in order to make doing business in Nigeria easy and simple for the importer, for the exporter, and for the traders.
Political will is very key in ensuring that all stakeholders will follow to the completion of this implementation of trade facilitation as indicated within the roadmap.
Trade facilitation, they believe, will play an important role in the country's development as it enhances competitiveness. In Abuja, LM Chukwuemeka reports.
Lovely place, right?
Yes.
What's wrong? You don't look happy.
Take a look around. Why can't my hotel be like this?
I knew something was wrong, but I've got solution.
Solution? What?
Nanet.
Nanet?
Nanet offers you design solutions, building plans and construction, furnishing and equipping, financing, management, audit services, and many more services for a better hospitality business. Nanet, service with a smile.
President Muhammadu Buhari has formally asked the Nigerian Senate to confirm the appointment of Aisha Amadu as the Deputy Governor of the country Apex Bank, CBN. In a letter read on the floor of the Red Chamber by the Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekremadu, the President said the confirmation of Mrs. Aisha, who replaced the Deputy Governor of the Apex Bank, who retired early this year. The President urged the Senate to consider the timely confirmation of the appointment in accordance with the provision of the section of CBN Act of 2007.
Confirmation of appointment of Mr. Aisha Ahmad as Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. In accordance with the provisions of Section 812 of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Establishment Act 2007, I had the pleasure to present Mrs. Aisha Ahmad for confirmation as Deputy Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, replacing one of the bank's deputy governors who retired earlier this year. Please find an attached copy of our curriculum vitae. While looking forward for your usual expeditious considerations, please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest esteem. Sincerely, Muhammad Buhari, President of Nigeria. Confirmation appointment of members of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria. In accordance with the provisions of Section 1214 of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN Establishment Act 2007, I have the pleasure to present the following nominees for confirmation as members of the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria as replacements for 4 current committee members whose tenure expires at the end of this year. There are 1. Professor Adiola Festus Adenkinju. 2. Dr. Aliyu Rafindadi Sanusi. 3. Dr. Robert Chikwendo Asogwa. And 4. Dr. Ishak A. Maidugu. Please find attached copies of their curriculum vitae. While looking forward for your usual expeditious consideration, please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurance of my highest esteem. Sincerely, Muhammad Buhari, President.
The fate of the new appointee, Aisha Amadu, now lies in the Senate, which has the constitutional power to confirm or to reject. From Abuja, Muwa Bamdele reporting.
As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the 2017 World Post Day, the Minister of Communication, Barrister Adebayo Shitu, has called on the National Assembly to expedite the passage of the National Postal Service Reform Bill in order to transform the service. Shitu, who made the call in Abuja at the NIPOS launching of new innovative and game-changing products, said that having the bill passed into law will make a way for the legitimacy on all of the new initiatives that are being taken.
We will therefore appeal that the last line that we expect is the fact that there must be expeditious processing of the NIPOS transformation bill so that there can be legitimacy for all of these new initiatives that are being taken. I want to commend especially the management and the entire staff of NIPOS. I want to congratulate you because you have in Mr. Bisa Adegbuyi a team leader who is not bossy, who is prepared to give leadership for NIPOS. I appeal to you to continue to give him every support that he will require to take NIPOS to the highest that we can ever get.
The minister, who decried the huge neglect of NIPOS in the past, said the government decided to make the best use of the existing infrastructure and human capital to transform NIPOS useful to the ordinary Nigerian.
Real time. So when we came on board, when the Buhari administration came on board, we felt that insofar as the infrastructure of NIPOS is still in place, the personnel are still in place, well trained and very experienced, that we could think out of the box and look at how best to utilize the services and personnel of NIPOS in such a way that it will be transformed to be more relevant to everyday lives of Nigerians.
Earlier, the Postmaster General of NIPOS, Barrister Bisi Adegoyin, while noting that the service has launched 12 products in 12 months, said that the days of competition with private sector is over, as collaboration is the way forward to make Nigeria the #1 on the African charts in no distant future.
In Nigeria, this celebration has been sober and low-key for a very long time, due to low level of activities and dwindling relevance of the postal service. Today, however, the narrative is changing, as the new management of the Nigerian Postal Service has chosen to use the opportunity to launch a number of innovative and game-changing products and services that will completely transform and modernize the postal landscape in this country.
October 9th every year is celebrated globally as World Post Day to raise awareness of the role of the post in the lives of people and business, as well as it contributes to global social and economic development. In Abuja, LM Chukwemeka reports.